2021 championship game. She works with Brian Garland and Natasha Kamey, and we are set for action into the center circle. We are set for the play, and it is Liz Scott at 6'2", with the height advantage winning the tip. Oklahoma will get it up quicker than almost anybody in the country, and they waste no time.
Well, they love to get up and down the floor. They have a lot of freedom within their offense, and they do not take much time off that shot clock, as you mentioned.
And that was Maddie Williams knocking down her 15th three of the year, and she is the Big 12 Player of the Week. Here's an answer attempt from Emily Ryan, and the rebound is run down by Taylor Robertson. Oklahoma averages 80 possessions per ball game on offense. That is third best in the country. And everybody can shoot it.
And it's a fun brand of basketball, not only for fans to get out and support this Sooners team, but for the players. You can play a lot of players because you have to. You're really getting up down the floor, but there's a lot of room for players to play a lot of minutes in Jenny Baranczyk's system.
Robertson has Jones on the opening as far as the defensive assignment. Unable to handle the ball for Iowa State is Morgan Kane, but it was pushed out by a Sooner. So with 10 seconds to shoot it, Iowa State will play.
We'll talk a lot about Morgan Kane and the contribution she is making to this team since Stephanie Suarez has went out with that knee injury.
And, of course, that happened against these Sooners. 8 on the shot clock. Jones for 3. High off the bracket, but the offensive rebound run down by the Donarski. Here's Jones maneuvering inside, putting up a shot that won't go, and the rebound is cleared by Liz Scott.
Rebounding, that's an area that Oklahoma has improved from 1 year ago. This is a very experienced veteran ball club. They have 2 fifth-year seniors and 1 sixth-year player in Ana Llanusa. One of the more veteran teams in the entire country, which says a lot because due to COVID and the extra year granted, there are a lot of teams that have a lot of experience and on their rosters.
Maddie Williams picks up the foul for the Sooners, and into the offensive end, Emily Ryan, who leads the Big 12 in assists at 6.7 per game. Kane on the high post, wheels in, fakes, fires, and unable to score. And the rebound, Jones trying to run it down, and rushes out of bounds, and it's the last touch by the Cyclones. And Jenny Baranczyk will use a lot of players and a lot of them early. And right away, here comes Skylar Vann, number 24, in for Oklahoma.
Skylar Vann, who hit that winning shot against Iowa State. That was January 8th when these teams met the first time.
Vann, somebody to keep your eye on. She averages 11 points, 7.5 rebounds off the bench. Is the only player who hasn't started a game with numbers that high.
Oklahoma has started the entire starting five. Same lineup, all 19 games. 20 games, I guess I should say. This is game number 20.
This is number 20,
yep,
right.
Yep.
Cyclones down early on a couple of threes by Oklahoma. The last one knocked down by Nevaeh Tot. Naimir Du has come quickly into the Cyclone lineup. She puts up a shot and unable to get it to go down.
As we mentioned, Larry, Stephanie Suarez, the 6'6" center for Iowa State, went down with that ACL tear in the first quarter down in Norman on January 8th. And really for the rest of that game, Iowa State was trying to figure things out. She was a go-to player for them on both the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. And Iowa State's credit, they really hung in there. There were 10 lead changes late in that contest. They were not able to get away with the win, but they've been reworking things since that game.
Maddie Williams on the last basket, a season-low 6 against the Cyclones in the game you talked about, and she's already got 5. Here's Jones trying to drive and drawing a foul against Maddie Williams, and Williams has picked up her second early foul. Make that her first. Aubrey Jones comes into the lineup for Oklahoma. There is a familiar name.
It is a familiar name. Her sister Ashley happens to be shooting free throws right now.
Jones with a rare miss. She's an 84% free throw shooter.
Yeah, that is a rare miss. I wonder if that kind of threw her for a loop. Then all of a sudden her younger sister was standing to her right.
And the Cyclones remain scoreless 3 minutes into the game. Oklahoma averages 85.8 per game. That is third best in the country. The jump shot won't go by Ana Llanusa. And here comes Ryan into the offensive end for Iowa State. Cyclones still looking to get on the board. And they do now with Danae Fritz knocking down the three, her 22nd this season.
Danae Fritz brings so much toughness to this Iowa State team. Coach Finley talks about that often. Not surprising at all that she had the guts to step up and take a big shot when things were not looking good for Iowa State, down 8 to start this game.
I think depth is really going to be an interesting thing today because, Molly, here's Iowa State playing 3 players that are in the top 4 in minutes in the Big 12, playing more than 33 minutes a game. And here's Oklahoma using a bevy of players.
And it's maybe something that we won't notice in the first half, but as you get into the third quarter, the fourth quarter, do Lexi Donarski, Ashley Jones, Emily Ryan, do those 3 players start to get a little bit leg weary going up against players who are frankly just have fresher legs.
Ryan on the drive, trying to save it as Ryan from going out of bounds, does not get the job done. And so Oklahoma off to a big start has the basketball.
Oklahoma has not won in this building in a few years. They are highly motivated. In fact, the only player on this Oklahoma team who has won in Hilton Coliseum is Anna Yanusa. She's a 6th-year player. No one else on this team has left Ames with a good taste in their mouth.
Goes back to 2017. And, of course, there's Coach Jenny Baranchek, well familiar with this building, as another 3 by Nevaeh Tot. She has now knocked down a pair of them, and it's an 11-3 lead for Oklahoma. Donarski with her first shot of the afternoon. Nothing but net.
Really nice use of the mid-range game there for Lexi. Often think about her as a 3-point shooter, somebody who likes to penetrate and go all the way to the rim, but she is very good at that mid-range. Very athletic. She can pull up on a dime as she did that last make for Iowa State.
Van trying to save it, could not do it. So Oklahoma comes up the court. Down early by 6 after trailing a moment ago by 8. Here's Ryan all the way to the basket, and she draws a foul.
Iowa State just 2 of their first 7 from the field, 29%. Oklahoma shooting the basketball with confidence, and why wouldn't they? They're 3 of 6 from beyond the arc.
And so Ryan will go to the line, and as Bill Fenley likes to do, the other 4 players go back into the defensive end.
That's what you call confidence in your free throw shooter.
And especially in this one, a 91% free throw shooter. 2nd in the conference and 14th in the country. One more for Emily Ryan, who comes in averaging 11.4. As we mentioned, she leads the Big 12 in assists and also in free throw shooting. Ball goes inside to Liz Scott. She drives against the double team and misses, and Jones is there for the rebound for Iowa State. Jones, who averages 9.7 rebounds a game. She leads the conference in scoring and rebounding. Here's Ryan pumping from the lane, and the shot rolls in. 4 points early for Ryan, and after trailing a moment ago, 8-0, the Cyclones are on a run, and it's ended right there. Liz Scott with the bucket. At the other end, Donarski 2 in a row. Donarski got 20 points and played 38 minutes the last time these 2 teams squared off. And the 3 goes home by Oklahoma.
And if it seems like Oklahoma is extra excited about one bucket, that is because Taylor Robertson just broke the NCAA Division I women's basketball record for 3-pointers in a career.
That is the 498th 3 of her career, breaking the record held by Ohio State's Kelsey Mitchell, who went on to a terrific WNBA career. Foul whistled against Oklahoma. We've got a timeout. 3:55 left to go in the opening quarter. You've just seen a record NCAA.
Was at 497 in 139 games. Taylor has done it in 137 games. So congratulations. She is fun to watch. She is very smart at moving without the basketball, able to free herself up for good looks, and she has got that quick release that we just saw as she broke that record.
Play resumes. Ashley Jones at the free throw line. Missed her first 2 free throws, but hits both of those. By the way, that is now 62 games in a row that Taylor Robertson has made a 3, and that is a Big 12 record as well. But she now has the all-time record for 3 points made. Feet on the post. The turnaround hangs on the rim and it drops for Skylar Vann.
One item Coach Fenley mentioned yesterday in his media availability is that because Oklahoma will substitute so liberally and so regularly, his players really have to be keyed in every stoppage of play to make sure they know who they are matched up against.
Yeah, he said you have to make that decision very quickly when you play the Sooners. Open look for Donarski. Hit her first 2 misfires on that one. Scott has the rebound go off her hands, picked up by Taylor Robertson. Down the lane comes Liz Scott. And she will be called for the charge. Scott's got her second foul.
Yeah, nice job. Izzy Zagaro stepping up and taking that charge there. Not something that we've seen all that much or all that often out of Izzy in her career, but nice job moving her feet, getting to that spot. Offensive player kind of lowered the shoulder a little bit.
3 minutes in the opening quarter left to play, and again, we're already seeing plenty of scoring. Last time these two teams met, 82-79 the final with Iowa State.
If you like offense,
winding up on the short end.
If you like offense, this is a good contest to come out and check out, even on a very snowy day in Ames, Iowa.
Kennedy Tucker, number 4, onto the floor for Oklahoma, as is Beatrice Culleton. So again, Jenny Baranchuk will go 10 or 11 deep, and this is something she has done throughout her career.
They're so good at sharing the basketball. We asked her a little bit before the game about who have you modeled some of your offensive theories and philosophies off of? And she didn't name, anyone in particular, just different things she's picked up from different coaches along the way in her career. And she loves what it can do from a chemistry perspective because you rely on a lot of players. You're playing this quick pace. You have to substitute a lot. And she really credits team chemistry for style of play, and those things really play off each other really nicely.
Fingaro on the post feed, and Williams ties her up, but the Cyclones get it on the alternating possession. Ryan looks to the middle. Nadir Du tries to make a move, gets to the bracket, but can't score, and the bounce on the rebound comes off to Matty Williams.
And Nadir Du had that height advantage over Nevaeh Tot, but just was not able to get it to go down.
Williams fouled out on the floor by Emily Ryan. Third team foul called against, correct that, the first team foul called against the Cyclones. Ball tipped away, it's picked up by Tot, drives the baseline and scores. She has a quick 8 points on a couple of threes in that layup. And the Sooners, who've led all the way thus far, up by 7. Their biggest lead is at 8-0.
What a finish by Todd, who by far is the smallest player on the floor.
He is only 5'3".
Oklahoma playing some of this zone defense. Cyclones have not quite been able to figure it out.
Played virtually all man-to-man the last time these two teams met. Donarski on the miss, but the rebound is grabbed by Kane. Shot clock down to 12 on this second possession for the Cyclones. Here's Ryan taking it to the basket. She spins, fires, tries to get Kennedy Taylor up into the air and can't do it. And the rebound is grabbed by Oklahoma.
A really nice use of the pivot foot there by Emily Ryan. Just cannot get the shot to go.
Williams misses on the 3. Tucker with an offensive rebound and another 3 by the Sooners. And they are raining threes early in the quarter. Robertson with her second 3 ball. Iowa State down early by 8 points and then rallied back to within 2. Now they are down by 10. Fritz with a 3 ball. Danae Fritz with her second 3 in the ball game.
Playing with some greater confidence lately.
And a quick answer by Robertson.
Man, it is like the two of us can't even get much description of the action in because the scoring is happening just so quickly, especially for Oklahoma. They do not take much time off that shot clock.
Could slow down a little here because the shot clock is off, and I think the Cyclones will play for the last shot.
Yep, I'm with you, Larry.
So what did you want to add here while you got a minute?
Yeah, take a breath maybe?
Absolutely. Ryan being guarded by Kennedy Tucker. Shot clock is at 6. I should say the quarter clock is at 6. Ryan mishandles it, and then She gets fouled and not meaning to do so, Kennedy Tucker, and that was an ill-advised foul by her with the shot clock and the quarter clock winding down.
Well, it's hard to be frustrated with a player or a teammate who's diving on the floor for a loose ball, but just not a great decision. Even if Emily Ryan had retrieved the basketball cleanly, it was going to be a very challenging shot for her from about 35 feet from the basket.
Ryan, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 5 points in the first quarter. Again, averages 91 points or 91% from the free throw line. One more for the junior from Claflin, Kansas, and she knocks them both down. And that's the way the first quarter will come to an end. It was an exciting quarter full of action, and the Sooners led it all the way. They lead at the break by a score of 26-18.
Figure out what is the game plan from that point forward? What is the game plan for the rest of the season? It was back and forth action, 10 lead changes late in the fourth quarter, and Oklahoma just hit one more shot, essentially, than Iowa State.
What a job they did regrouping. Down by 11 after 3, came back, actually took the lead in the fourth quarter as we got underway. In second quarter action, Danae Fritz commits the foul for Iowa State, just their second. In the first quarter, Oklahoma was 6 of 10 behind the three-point line. Kennedy Tucker takes the inbounds feed. Robertson is 3 for 3, has missed her first time today, and Fritz is there for the rebound.
Oklahoma coming off a 20-point loss to Texas midweek, and Jenny said, chatting with her a little bit, team ready to go, and even have a hangover, and she's like, we'll see, and clearly this team was ready to go.
And that was a 4-point game at the half, and the Sooners got outscored 21-6 in the third quarter.
Yeah, that third quarter was rough.
Once again, a change for Oklahoma, and Maddie Williams, who is, again, the Big 12 Player of the Week, checks out. And to take her place, the outstanding player from the bench, Skylar Penn, and it is another 3 for Taylor Robertson.
Taylor moves so well without the basketball, but she always knows where her defender is as well. I mean, that possession there, she catches the basketball. It's almost like with her peripheral vision. She sees where Lexi Donarski, her defender, is, and she reads Lexi.
That was actually only a 2. I'm just so used to saying 3.
Yeah.
She was inside the line.
Yeah, but she is so good at reading what the defense gives her, taking advantage of it.
I think offensive rebounds are going to be big today. Oklahoma has 5 second-chance points. The Cyclones have none, as Ashley Jones scores her first basket of the afternoon.
And this is a pace that Oklahoma very comfortable playing. We'll see for Iowa State. How comfortable are they as this game progresses?
Tucker on the miss and Ryan on the rebound. Ryan averages 5 rebounds a game. You think of her for her assists, but she is third on the team in rebounding. And a foul call off the ball will go against Oklahoma. Robertson with her second foul. So now that's 3 starters for the Sooners with 2 fouls apiece. Yanusa, Robertson, and Scott.
18 fouls for Oklahoma in this game. Iowa State with 3.
New looks to the left wing where Jones is open for 3. Bullseye. Jones with 7 points early. Trying to answer for Oklahoma and not getting the roll that time was Kirsten Johnson.
Ashley Jones has always taken on a huge part of the scoring load for this Iowa State team, but with Stephanie Suarez in the middle, they were the perfect combination to play off of each other. And now with Stephanie, of course, out for the rest of the season with that ACL tear, Ashley Jones increasing that offensive productivity just a bit.
Step back for Jones there, not there, and the rebound is cleared by her sister, Aubrey Jones. You know, they've rebounded for each other in the driveway a lot. Well, that time she got one that counted.
Another sister will play for Iowa State next year. Kelsey will be part of a recruiting class that'll come in for Bill Finley in
and
the
this
fall.
year, interestingly enough, Kelsey is playing for her sister Courtney,
yes,
who is the women's basketball coach or girls basketball coach at West Liberty High School in Iowa. The miss by Donarski, and the rebound is claimed by Johnson. Johnson at 6'4", the tallest Sooner, and she really is a rim protector on the other end. Johnson tries to get a pass inside to Tucker. and she can't hang on. The turnover gives it back to Iowa State.
Really nice job there by Lexi Donarski as her offensive player went to make that backdoor cut. She did a great job of snapping her head, reaching out. She deflects the pass. The Oklahoma player still touched it, and it went out of bounds. Excellent job by Donarski.
This is the Sooners' third turnover, and the Cyclones have turned it only twice, so at this pace, those are good numbers.
Well, for Oklahoma, their first 2 turnovers in that first quarter were offensive fouls.
Dew misfires on the 3, and the rebound run down by Nevaeh Tot, the 5'3" junior from McKinley, Texas, who has a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. She's been hot in this ballgame with 8 first-quarter points. This time she gets the ball in on the post. Januska on the miss, but the foul call.
Niver Dew does a really nice job coming over and providing that help defense against Anna Janusa.
And so Anna Janusa will go to the line. She averages 12.9, her career best on this floor back in 2019 when she got 35 points against the Cyclones. Janusa looking for her first point of the afternoon after getting those 2 early fouls and having to go to the bench.
We've talked so much about Taylor Robertson today in this game. She's actually only the 3rd leading scorer for the Sooners on the season. Maddie Williams averages about 16.5 points per game to lead the way for Oklahoma.
Many bodies on the floor, and the tie ball and the possession arrow goes to Iowa State, but Bill Finley wanted a foul there. He was off the bench quickly and gesturing that he didn't exactly agree with the call. Thought a foul should have been called on the Sooners. Donarski driving and getting blocked from behind by Jones. But Jones also committing the foul, and that'll be her first.
Lexi Donarski with 4 points in this game so far. A couple of pull-up jumpers. That time she takes the ball all the way to the rim, getting past the defender.
When you think of Cyclones, and you think of Emily Ryan with the assist, but Donarski has the best assist-turnover ratio in the conference at 60 assists, just 26 turnovers coming in. He's got 6 with those 2 free throws, and the Cyclones have cut what was a 10-point deficit at the end of the quarter down to 5. Raina Scott, number 2, into the lineup for the first time. She finds Van inside. Van can't finish. Battle for the rebound. And it is out of bounds, and it's off Oklahoma. Rebounds pretty even thus far. Oklahoma has 16 rebounds, and the Cyclones have 14. And these are the 2 top rebounding teams in the conference.
Well, we mentioned that rebounding a point of emphasis for this Oklahoma team from last year to this year. Really improved upon that. Iowa State with Stephanie Suarez out of the lineup. I wouldn't say it's rebounding by committee because they certainly have Ashley Jones who continues to lead the way, but they need other players to step up, and that's one of the things that they've been working through in the month of January. Who's going to score those points? Who's going to come in and play those additional minutes? Who's going to rebound?
Morgan Kane with a big post move for the Cyclones, but then the Sooners, Raina Scott with a quick answer. Oklahoma by 5. They've led by as many as 10. They've not been behind in this one after jumping to an 8-0 lead. Donarski lobs inside. Kane looking for 2 in a row, and Kane is going to pick up an offensive foul. First foul called on Kane. And so Oklahoma comes up the court, up by 5 and trying to add to it. About midway point in the second quarter. As Raina Scott, a freshman from New York City, drives but loses the basketball, recovers it, however. Williams against Fritz. Fritz did a great job on Williams down in Norman, held her to 1 of 10 shooting and a season-low 6 points. Rebound, grab by Fritz. Danae Fritz really has come along, hasn't she?
I was just going to mention that last possession. I was enjoying watching Ashley Jones and Aubrey Jones defending each other down here to our right.
Williams with the lead feed for Janusa. And Anna Janusa with her first basket, and the Sooners lead grows to 7.
Sooners continue to shoot the basketball well, just under 50% for the game. They're 6 of 13 from beyond the arc.
Red hot shooting by a team that hits 45% on the season and 35% of their threes, but way above that today. Jones knocks it down. And she now has 10 points, and that's a milestone number for her, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the Cyclones come up with a steal. Jones coming up with a steal, looking for a three, not getting it this time.
I think the roof might have come off the Hilton Coliseum if Ashley Jones could have converted on that one. What a steal on the defensive end, and then to come down, had the legs to get that three-point shot attempt off, was not able to get it to go.
And Jones scoring her 10th point. She passed the Oklahoma great Courtney Paris for number 3 all time. Big 12.
Not many records that Ashley Jones will not surpass in her time.
Too many to list in a 2-hour telecast, that's
exactly,
for sure.
Exactly.
But the fact she's heated up has helped bring the Cyclones back into this one. Oklahoma playing now in a 2-3 matchup zone. They played all man the last time that these two teams played. Now that I look at it, it looks more like a man-to-man this time. Here's the ball inside to Naimir Deuce. She misfires, and the rebound is cleared by Maddie Williams. Williams quickly on the wing. Inside, open look for Culleton, and she scores and gets fouled. Beatrice Culleton, a freshman from Overland Park, Kansas, in the Kansas City area, with her first basket.
Well, she was able to bury her defender, Naimir Due, in that low block position. There's just not a whole lot that Naimir can do in that situation, giving up several inches defensively. Naimir does have those long arms. That certainly can help. But Colton, a strong player. She's buried that deep. Pretty easy for her to just turn and shoot over the top.
Inside, trying to score deep is Jones, and she draws a foul. Jones at the other end, now with her 12th point, and she will go to the line.
Really nice use of that shot fake, and then a pivot foot. Good footwork down there on the inside. Part of what makes Ashley Jones so good is she has several weapons.
Yes, she does. Culleton got the foul, and Jones completes the three-point play to give her 13 points. Her average 19.5, that is tops in the Big 12. She also averages a second best in the league, 9.7 rebounds.
Well, she's crafty on the inside, and because of her footwork and just her basketball IQ, she is able to score over bigger defenders in the post, but then she can pull you out and shoot it from the perimeter.
And the Sooners, who hit 6 of their first 10 threes, have now missed their last 5 threes. Here's Jones once again taking it right to the rack and scoring again. And she has scored the last 6 or 7 points for Iowa State.
And Ashley Jones just takes it right at her sister Aubrey. That last possession, those two have defended each other a little bit, but big sister gets the best of that last possession.
Todd on the miss, Fritz on the rebound. The Cyclones back to within 1. This is the closest they have been. But Jones gives them their first lead. Ashley Jones on fire now. She's got 17 points, and Jenny Baranczak has seen enough of the Ashley Jones show.
I think a lot of coaches have seen a lot and seen enough of.
First half, Oklahoma playing from behind for the first time today, as the Cyclones have outscored them 20-10 here in the second quarter.
We'll see how Oklahoma responds in a hostile environment. Great crowd here in Hilton Coliseum.
Yanus on a nice give and go to score on a good feed from Skylar Van.
Pretty good response for the Sooners.
Good play called off the bench by Jenny Baranczak, and it worked well. Emily Ryan, who plays more minutes than anybody in the Big 12 on an average, has had 5 40-minute games this year, tries to get it inside to Jones, and Jones gets fouled. Naimir Due back in for Iowa State, replacing Morgan Kane.
Be the second foul on Maddie Williams for Oklahoma.
And at 6'4", Kirsten Johnson, the tallest of the Sooners, comes in. Fritz takes the inbounds feed. Due finds the red-hot Jones. Now Donarski works against the much shorter Tot. 9 seconds for the Cyclones to shoot it. Jones puts it to the floor against Van. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and a takeaway by Skylar Van. And unable to handle the pass is Kirsten Johnson. But they are going to rule that Oklahoma will get the ball. Iowa State touched it last.
Thought it looked like it went off maybe the knee of Kirsten Johnson, but that's why the officials get paid to do the job, not me.
Jones takes the inbound speed on a steal, drives length of the floor, and gets fouled, and a foul by Skylar Van. And Van fouled her pretty hard that time, and it will send Jones to the line. First called on Van. Last time out against Oklahoma, Jones 27 points, 9 rebounds, 12 of 13 from the foul line. You know, coaches talk about the advantage of sending the 4 players who aren't shooting to the defensive end. Not only does it show confidence in your shooter, but it also gives you an extra timeout to regroup the other 4.
Well, and for an Oklahoma team that is going to take the basketball out of the bottom of the hoop and they are going to go, gives Iowa State an opportunity to get a little bit of a head start on the defensive end before the Sooners emerge into the front court.
Todd controlling the basketball, finding Yanusa. Todd, an outstanding point guard. Boy, at 5'3", she's accomplished so much in her Oklahoma career. Skylar Van on the miss, but Yanusa with the offensive rebound. Second chance points are going to be significant today. Ryan gets inside of Johnson but can't score, and Oklahoma comes up the court with the game tied at 40. Takeaway. Danae Fritz. Finish. Danae Fritz. Check out that scoreboard. We have 82 points on the board with a half minute to go in the first half.
Well, Iowa State finishing this half in a flurry. They're 4 of their last 5 from the field.
Crowd is on their feet. What a first half performance they've seen by number 14 Oklahoma and number 18 Iowa State. 7 seconds difference between the first half clock and the shot clock, and the shot put down by Kirsten Johnson. Sooners with 5 seconds have to hurry. Donarski bounce pass. Fritz long on the shot. Jones with the offensive rebound. No, it was after the horn. So we have what is probably what should be a tie ball game at the half.
Wow, what a game to avoid being swept by this Oklahoma team.
Sooners' only losses this year to Baylor, at Utah, and at Texas. And again, the Texas loss was 20 points on Wednesday night in a game that saw the Sooners struggle and only score 6 points in the third quarter. Oklahoma with the ball first. They go inside to Maddie Williams. She misfires, but it's an Oklahoma rebound and a shot that won't go by Yanusa.
Offensive rebound there by Liz Scott, but the Sooners are unable to connect.
So far, points in the paint, one of the big stories. 22 for Oklahoma, 12 for Iowa State. But when Jones is shooting as well as she is from the outside, that's a neutralizer.
Well, it looked like that one was about halfway down before it rattled out.
Scott catches the ball in traffic. And that, I believe, was deflected by a Cyclone. And it was. So it's Nevaeh Tot bringing it into the offensive end with 12 seconds to shoot it. Williams moves her way down the lane and gets fouled. So Maddie Williams will go to the line. Ashley Jones picks up her second foul.
Maddie Williams just is so skilled at that forward position, really plays that forward position more like a guard, and that last possession is a great example. She started this basketball game with a three-point make on the opening possession for the Sooners, and that last possession is a good example of her ball handling capabilities.
She's averaging 16.5 per ball game, 4th best in the Big 12. Honorable mention, All-America last year and first team All-Big 12, and she knocks down both free throws. As we mentioned earlier, she only got 6 against the Cyclones in Norman on 1 of 10 shooting. So Iowa State had done a good job on her.
She's the kind of player where it just looks like the game of basketball comes easily to her. It's just so smooth.
Tot on the deflection, so the Cyclones will inbound from the near sideline, opposite the bench of Bill Fenley. Donarski gets the ball inside to Jones. She challenges Scott and misses, and Williams has the rebound. Maddie Williams has come out and been a factor early in the third quarter. Robertson on top. Scott on the high post, turns, fires, and does not score. And it's Ryan there for the rebound. Emily Ryan, who has always threatened to get that triple-double because she rebounds well, her assists and scoring you know about. Not quite got there, but she's been close a lot of times.
She's been on triple-double watch many, many times.
Including this last game against Oklahoma, when she had 9 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Both teams a little cold to begin the second half of play.
When that first half, Oklahoma shot just under 49% from the field. Iowa State a little bit lower at 41, but they were at 47% in the second quarter. That's why they were able to make that nice comeback. They just shot the basketball better.
Sooners try to tack on a lead to their 2, and they do on a 3-point shot by Nevaeh Tot, and that is her third 3 in the ballgame.
Nevaeh Tot really known more for her assisting of the basketball, averages 4 per game, but she has been very good scoring-wise this afternoon for the Sooners.
Donarski on the miss, having a little bit of an off shooting day for her. Robertson uses a screen from Scott to score, knocks down a 3. And again, every time she scores one now, it establishes a new standard for career threes in the NCAA record book, and Bill Fenley wants an early timeout as Oklahoma has opened an 8-point lead from a tie ball game, and this is the same way the game started.
Just knocked down another triple, made the trip from McPherson. Taylor, one of a couple of Kansas natives on this Oklahoma team, and McPherson is about 400 miles, give or take a little bit, from Ames. Claflin, Kansas, the home of Emily Ryan, just about an hour from McPherson, Kansas.
And Jackie Stiles, one of the all-time greats. Fritz putting up the shot and missing, trying to get the rebound. Zingaro battling for it, but can't control it, and the Sooners have it. So Oklahoma scored the first 8 points of the ball game, and now they've scored the first 8 points of the second half. Tot into the offensive end, gets a screen from Scott, drives the lane, can't score. Zingaro pushed down by Scott.
Izzy Zingaro going down hard there. You mentioned Oklahoma and what they've done on the offensive end. The first few minutes of this third quarter, Larry, it was a totally different story down in Austin over the weekend. Oklahoma and Texas with a very competitive first half. It was a 4-point game at the mid-break, and then Oklahoma kind of fell apart, truthfully, in that third quarter.
Well, now that you mention it, they've already scored more points in the third quarter today than they did in the entire third quarter at Austin when they were outscored 21-6.
I imagine Coach Bronchek mentioned
you think
the third quarter woes they had down in Austin and how they wanted to avoid that today in Ames.
Jones passes to Ryan inside. And Ryan gets fouled. Nevaeh Tot with the foul.
Emily Ryan with a pretty significant size advantage over Nevaeh Tot. About 8 inches difference, according to the media materials we were provided.
It's a kick by Williams, and so 5 seconds added when the shot clock had gone down to 15. Cyclones with 20 seconds to shoot it with 6:26 to go in the third. Jones left her defender behind. She faked one way, Yunusa went the other, and Jones got an easy 2 for her 22nd point. Sooners offensive rebound put up by Van. It won't go. Ryan and Van battle for the rebound. It's Van coming up with it. She's a tough rebounder. She moves around, and there's a walking call against her.
Well, Van with that first offensive rebound, she had a wide open look, probably a little bit surprised that she had found herself with no one between her and the basket. Looked like she couldn't quite decide if she should utilize that backboard or not.
She won't miss many of those. Here's Jones against Williams, 2 of the best players in the Big 12 squaring off against each other. Danae Fritz down the lane to score with the left hand.
Yeah, great finish there with the left hand for Danae Fritz. She had a couple of big triples early in this game. She's been a little quiet offensively since then, although she does have 10 points for Iowa State.
Robertson for 3. The rebound poked around. Ryan trying to take it away from Williams. And I believe they got Ryan on the foul.
Emily Ryan trying to make a good hustle play there. Good look at how she can elevate Officials felt like she maybe had a little too much contact with the body in trying to retrieve that defensive rebound.
Van looks inside. Williams fakes one way, goes the other, misses. Jones is there for the rebound for Iowa State.
Maddie Williams had established really nice low block position right in the middle of the paint.
Jones, 3-ball on the way. Rebound by Robertson. Robertson, who before the game, her practice is to take 230 to make 233s when the team arrives at the arena. So I guess it's no surprise that she would become the all-time three-point scorer.
She is very smooth. Sooners 0 of their last 6 from the field.
Just the second basket for Ryan, who's had a 2 out of 7 scoring night. And so after Oklahoma scores the first 8, the Cyclones come back after the break, and they score 8 in a row. It is Jonesy's in Iowa City working for their dad's restaurant. And that's where all 5 sisters worked in high school and before, and that's a lot of where they learned their work ethic, I understand.
And I have not been there to try the pork tenderloin. That is definitely something on my list at some point when I'm in eastern Iowa.
Well, it's going to be a place that everybody wants to visit. Janusa on the miss, but the rebound comes out. And driving on a nice play is Aubrey Jones. So we feature Aubrey Jones, and she enters the scoring book for the first time and makes it a 4-point Oklahoma lead.
Aubrey Jones really known more for her three-point shooting prowess, and she has that quick release, made a bunch of triples for Iowa State in her first couple of years. But that last possession, she shows how she can put the ball on the floor and beat a defender to the rim.
Donarski's had a rough shooting game, just 3 out of 8 now, but she makes that one. Williams on the miss. And the loose rebound is scooped up by Naimir Dew. Cyclones can tie it with a 2, lead it with a 3 with just under 4 to play in the third quarter. They'll go for the lead. They got it.
What a game of runs, Larry. My goodness, Iowa State, 5 of their last 6 from the field. Oklahoma just 1 of their last 9 after you had mentioned starting the second half on an 8-0 run.
Blocked by Fritz. Big defensive play for Iowa State by Danae Fritz.
Oklahoma utilizing some dribble drive, penetrating all the way to the rim. All the way to the rim. Their last couple of possessions have not been able to finish. This is an Oklahoma team that really prides itself on sharing the basketball well. 12 assists for the team on the game. 13 assists for Iowa State. Nice ball movement for both of these squads.
Both coaches go for sides with their substitution. 6'3" Kane in for Iowa State. 6'3" Culleton in for Oklahoma. Open look, Donarski. Offensive rebound, Kane. And a foul is going to be called on Skylar Van, slapping her on the arm.
Morgan Kane, nice job. Danae Fritz, Ashley Jones. They won't get credit for the offensive rebound, but those two players, because of their work and knocking that basketball loose, it just drops right into the hands of Morgan Kane. She's kind of Johnny on the spot there.
Kane starting her 4th ball game in a row. The Cyclones 3-0 since she's been inserted into the starting lineup. Started 30 last year for Iowa State. Coming off a season-high 13 against TCU. Knocks down both free throws. She has 4 points in this one. She was 5 of 6 against TCU the other night.
Well, Morgan Kane's role has really changed since these two teams last met in early January.
Culleton draws a foul, and she will go to the line.
Nice utilization of that ball screen there by Taylor Robertson. Really known for what she does shooting the basketball, but Iowa State has to give her so much defensive attention. They can lose track when that player is rolling to the basket.
Culleton from the Kansas City suburb of Overland Park, Kansas, went to St. Thomas Aquinas and helped her team win 4 consecutive championships and finish 80-8 in those 4 years. Tries to bring her team back to within 1. Unable to do so, and the offensive rebound is loose on the court. Good job for the Cyclones by Jones to come up with it. Donarski, step back 3. No. Offensive rebound, Fritz. Yes.
Danae Fritz, 12 points today.
Again, coming off that 14-point season high and right on the precipice of doing that again.
Also has 6 rebounds.
Culleton moves inside. The ball is blocked by Kane. And then a whistle blows, and they believe rule it out of bounds off of Oklahoma. They rule a foul on the Sooners on Aubrey Jones, and that'll be your second. Todd back onto the floor for Oklahoma. Sooners 14th in the country. Iowa State ranked 18th in the country. Iowa State winners of 3 in a row and 4 of their last 5. Oklahoma had won 5 in a row till the disappointing loss to Texas on Wednesday. Lob inside. Danae Fritz makes a nice catch in traffic. Culleton comes over to try to help out defensively, and the foul is called on Tot.
Danae Fritz, one of those players for Iowa State that this coaching staff has asked to step up her play just a little bit after that injury of Stephanie Suarez. Coach talked about how their good players have to play great. The role players have to play well and more consistently. Danae Fritz has had some nice games.
And in essence, a first-year freshman, played only 3 games last year before being injured and having to sit out the rest of the year. And she has now equaled her season high of 14. Iowa State with their biggest lead at 59-53.
And the Sooners were hot to start this third quarter, but they have sure cooled off one of their last 11.
Tot putting the ball to the floor against Ryan. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Tot, jump shot from the free throw line, won't go. Kane grabs the rebound. Cyclones, since the timeout when they gave up the first 8 points, have been on fire. Here's Jones inside, trying to make a move on Tucker. Loses it, but picks it up, gets it to Kane, and Kane scores.
Culleton just loses track of Morgan Kane, who dove right to the basket. And what a heads-up play there by Ashley Jones. She demands so much defensive attention. It's very easy to take your eyes off your own offensive player.
Iowa State with their biggest lead. Van on the miss, and Kane on the rebound. Poked away from her. It'll be Iowa State basketball.
Oklahoma, they really pride themselves on sharing the basketball. And Larry, during this drought, it seems like they've looked to try to penetrate, maybe do a little more one-on-one than we saw earlier in this game when they were moving the basketball really crisply, sharing it well. Seems like their offense has stalled a little bit more as they've tried to penetrate.
And this Oklahoma team 3rd in the country in assists. But when they're not moving the ball well, they don't score nearly as well. I guess that's an obvious fact, but it really has been a factor. There's a foul off the ball. It's called against Kennedy Tucker. That'll be her second foul. 5 team fouls now called against Oklahoma in the quarter, so Cyclones in the bonus for the remaining 106. Benarski, 30 out of 33 from the free throw line coming in, and has hit a couple of more today. Measures out at 91%. And we're happy to say the announcer jinx did not work into play there as Bill Fenley watches from the bench.
I'm not a believer in the announcers.
I'm not either.
Jinx,
I'm not
Larry.
either, but announcers always
I am
bring
a
it up.
very small part of this operation today. We could never give ourselves that much credit.
Exactly, of course not. But, people talk.
They do.
People talk.
People do talk.
They do. Final minute, third quarter. Oklahoma finds themselves with their biggest deficit, but they go to Robertson for 3. And as long as she's on the court, the Sooners are never out of a game.
My goodness. I mean, she has hit some ridiculous shots today. 5 of 7 from beyond the arc.
The clear out for Jones, and suddenly she's left open. Her defender falls off of her, and Jones takes full advantage of it. 27 points now for Ashley Jones. Just a second differential between the shot clock and the end of the third quarter, and the Sooners will play for the last shot, finding themselves trailing by 9. Biggest deficit of the ball game. Now the offense goes into motion. Liz Scott has it. Liz Scott wants to go to the basket. Kane, big defensive play to stop her. And the ball out of bounds to Oklahoma with 2.8 on the shot clock and 4.3 on the game clock in the third quarter. Robertson sneaks the pass in. Running right-hander won't go by Skylar Van. And the shot clock violation will give Iowa State the basketball as the third quarter comes to an end. 3 quarters have been played. The Cyclones breaking a halftime tie to go up by 9 as we head to the fourth.
Absolutely on fire in the second quarter. It really is the reason why Iowa State hung in there and got back into this game in that second quarter. She just put the load on her shoulders, went to work.
Sooners ball to begin the fourth quarter. And again, they score in bunches, so they are never out of a ball game. Iowa State playing good defense. They call the first play for Maddie Williams. She goes inside, and Maddie Williams is fouled.
Iowa State brings that double team. Maddie Williams is sandwiched in between those 2 white jerseys, but she is able to get that foul called.
Pretty good anticipation by Bill Fenley that would be the first play of the quarter. So he sent the double team.
When these teams met down in Norman, Iowa State got to the free throw line quite a few more times than Oklahoma. Of course, they were not able to get that win, but Iowa State 23 of 26 from the charity stripe. Oklahoma in that game was 12 of 15. And so far for the game in Ames, Iowa State 17 of 19 at the free throw line. Oklahoma 4 of 8. Cyclones really, really doing well at that charity stripe.
And that's interesting because early in the ballgame, the paints for Oklahoma were coming in the paint where you thought they might have gotten more to the free throw line. Here's Donarski making a couple of nice moves, unable to finish. And there for the rebound, the 5'3" guard, Nevaeh Tott.
It was a back and forth affair in the fourth quarter down in Norman, so I fully expect a lot of activity and fireworks for the remaining 9 minutes of this game.
There's a travel called on Skylar Van. Cyclone ball as the turnover against Oklahoma, just their 8th in the ballgame, but the Cyclones have turned it over just 4 times today.
And you would think that with the pace of this game, we would see more than a dozen combined turnovers, but really clean basketball for both of these squads.
Absolutely. Just been a terrific game to watch. Jones loses the basketball, scooped up by Van. Ahead it comes to Tott. And Tott leaves it for Robertson. Robertson, nice look inside. But the shot won't go by Van, and the ball goes out of bounds to Iowa State.
Nice job defensively from Morgan Kane, really holding her own as Van had established that low block position.
Well, obviously, the first thing that Bill Fenley talks to his team when you play Oklahoma, transition defense, and we saw it there.
They are so good at getting down the floor and catching teams sleeping, but what a great job by Morgan Kane defensively there.
Cyclones set up a double stack. Shot won't go by Ryan. Robertson with a skip pass to Tott, and Tott drills a 3, and that is her 4th 3 of the ball game. So the Sooners, a moment ago down by 9, now back to within 4, and they have started 3 of the 4 quarters very effectively.
Well, Nevaeh Tott, we talked earlier in this game about how she is a prototypical point guard who really wants to distribute the basketball, but she has been a big contributor scoring-wise. 14 points, 4 of 8 from downtown.
A 37% three-point shooter on the season. Here's Kane in traffic trying to get around Cullison, and Cullison commits the foul. Cullison with her 2nd foul.
Morgan Kane really giving Iowa State some nice minutes in this game, Larry. Nice job utilizing that step-through move.
Well, you check the line on Kane. 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, just 1 turnover. A terrific ball game by the senior from West Jordan, Utah.
Well, she's a smart player. You can tell that she is experienced. She has been through a lot in her career at Iowa State. She knows what her strengths and what her weaknesses are, and she plays to those strengths.
I admire a player who was a starter last year, had to learn a new role, and now learning to come back in as a starter. 4th game in a row that she has started. Cyclones have won the first 3 of those.
Well, you credit her maturity and the character of a Morgan Kane, who was a starter a year ago, like you mentioned, and then you recruit an All-American type of player in Stephanie Suarez, and then Stephanie Suarez gets hurt, and Morgan Kane, as you said, really thrust back into that starting lineup. Really expected to do more on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. It says a lot about Morgan.
The Robertson shows she's more than a three-point shooter by scoring on the baseline. Jones for 3, in and out. That rattled in almost down the cylinder, and it came back out. Here's the three try that won't go by Yanusa. And again, it's back and forth basketball as it has been all day. Rebounds pretty much even in the ball game. A lot of one and dones. Here's Fritz missing wide left. The ball goes out of bounds. Oklahoma has it, down by 3.
Well, that last miss there by Anna Yanusa, she has been quiet for the Sooners today. 3 of 10 from the field, 0 of 2 from downtown. Iowa State doing a nice job on her defensively.
She got 23 against the Cyclones in Norman, and we mentioned it earlier. Her career high was 35 on this court.
Probably was pretty high on that defensive scouting list for Iowa State.
The three try, but a whistle blew first. It went in and out. And a foul was called on Oklahoma prior to the shot going down. 7-4 being taken, I should say. So Iowa State a chance to pad a 3-point lead 3 minutes deep into the fourth quarter. Izzy Zingaro, number 15, back onto the floor for Iowa State. She sets the screen. Shot clock is at 10. Jones in the lane, fakes past Williams. Williams fouls her. That'll be the third called on Maddie Williams.
Cyclones know that they need a bucket. Not surprising that they get the basketball into Ashley Jones.
Skylar Venn back onto the floor for Oklahoma, and she'll take the place of Maddie Williams.
Iowa State will get more opportunities at the free throw line. 18 of 21 from that free throw line, 86%. Really taking advantage of that today.
Jones, who missed her first 2 free throws today, has not missed in the next 5 tries. But she does there. 4-point Cyclone lead. Oklahoma with the basketball, 6:45 left in regulation, and a miscue. Robertson pointing to Van, where I was going to go, where you thought I was going to go. It just didn't work out.
Just a little bit of miscommunication.
Cyclones tried to take advantage of a Sooner mistake. Ryan being guarded closely by Yanusa. On top, it comes to Donarski. She gets a screen from Jones, and now Jones steps back, fires, leaves it short off the iron. Zingaro runs down the rebound, gets it to Jones, who scores. Ashley Jones, 30 points this afternoon. 3 away from a season high. The lob comes inside. And as Culleton makes her move, she gets fouled by Zingaro. Zingaro with her first foul.
Taylor Robertson tries to take that charge. Ashley Jones has the presence of mind to ignore Robertson as she falls down. Goes up strong, utilizing that glass.
Zingaro out and Kane back in for Iowa State. Robertson with the inbound to Liz Scott. Scott hands it off. Robertson trying to clear some space, but Donarski right on her. Inside it comes to Scott, and Scott will get to the free throw line. Morgan Kane with foul number 2. Three team fouls now called against Iowa State and 4 against Oklahoma, as we've talked about free throw shooting, and that could become a factor down the stretch in this close ball game. Liz Scott at the line. Scott, not one of the better Sooner free throw shooters at just 62%. Oklahoma's a team 74%. The Cyclones, 12th best in the country at 78%.
And Scott does start for this Oklahoma team. Pretty quiet day for her. 3 points, 1 of 5 from the field.
Average is nearly 8.
Yeah, it's only played 9 minutes. Of course, they've gotten nice contributions from Van off the bench. We talked earlier about what a great 6th player she is for Coach Baranczyk.
Scott got into that early foul problem. The lob comes from Morgan Kane. Pitches it out to Jones, who moves it quickly to Fritz. Fritz tries to go inside, gets it for Kane. High off the glass and down. Morgan Kane having one of the better ball games she's had this season. She's got 9 points.
8 rebounds.
Little over 5 to play. Cyclones by 7 at 71-64. Van with the miss and Jones with the rebound.
Great defense by Iowa State late in this game, Larry. They have really forced Oklahoma to move the basketball around. They have not been able to take the quick shots that they prefer to take. Have to give credit to Iowa State for their defensive game planning.
In and out by Fritz, and the rebound taken by Scott. By the way, 7 rebounds for Jones. Yanusa slips to the floor, but she gets back up. Robertson fires a long 3 and hits it. And there was very little space between the player setting the screen and Robertson, and the Cyclone fighting her way through and committing a foul in the process was Kane. Wow, what a shot.
For Iowa State, they have 4 players, Jones, Donarski, Ryan, and Fritz, who have played over 32 minutes in this game. Emily Ryan and Lexi Donarski played 35 minutes, just those 2. No one for Oklahoma has played more than 28 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to double check that.
Well, that's correct. 28-19 for Tot. That'd be the highest. Meanwhile, Robertson completes a 4-point play, fouled in the act of shooting the 3. Cyclones get the ball into Jones, and they foul her. Oklahoma does. Foul called on Scott.
So back to what we were saying about minutes played, Larry, we'll see if fatigue becomes a factor at any point for Iowa State. Now, these players for Iowa State are certainly used to it. They are very well conditioned, but Oklahoma has been forcing a quick pace of play. We'll see as things progress here these last 4 minutes.
31 points now for Ashley Jones to go along with 7 rebounds. She cans both free throws. And for Oklahoma, Taylor Robertson, on the day that she broke the career 3-point record, also has a season high of 23 points. Previous best 21 against Arlington. Cyclones quickly with the rebound, allowing Oklahoma just the 1 shot. Ryan works inside. Her defender slips away, and Ryan takes advantage of it. At the other end, the shot in and out and back in by Ana Janusa.
Ana Janusa has had a little bit of a tough shooting game today, but despite giving up a basket on the defensive end, she has a very quick turnaround, and back on the offensive end, she catches just in step, goes up strong, lots of confidence, gets that basket to go.
Donarski on the feed from Jones, scores, and it'll be an and 1. Lexi Donarski, who had 6 points in the first half, has come back with another 6 here in the second half.
Nice job there by Lexi Donarski, recognizing that mismatch. Quite a size advantage over Nevaeh Todd, who's listed at 5'3". Just not a lot that Todd can do in that situation.
She gets her 3rd foul, and Donarski knocks down the free throw to give her 13 points and give Iowa State an 8-point lead with 3:29 remaining.
Cyclones have now scored 22 points at the free throw line.
Scott with the shot that rims out, and a foul called on the rebound scrap. And it's going to go against Iowa State. As you can tell, the Hilton Coliseum crowd not agreeing.
Sooners will shoot their 13th and 14th free throws. Iowa State has shot 26.
And Robertson from the line, 2 of 2 today, but she has missed only 2 free throws all year. 30 of 32 coming in.
Such a pure shooter. My goodness.
Yeah, no rim there whatsoever. 78-72 Iowa State and 3:15 to go. Cyclones trying to win their 4th in a row, go to 15-4 on the year. Sooners trying to go to 17-3 on the year.
And Iowa State wants that mismatch again with Lexi Donarski and Nevaeh Todd.
Through the hands of Kane it goes. And Kane gets fouled, and she will go right back to the free throw line.
Really nice recognition for Iowa State there, Larry. They go right back to that mismatch.
Aubrey Jones getting the foul.
Morgan Kane will be at the free throw line.
Kane, 3 out of 4 from the line today, 9 points. And also 8 rebounds. So looking at a possible double-double for her. She's got the scoring part of it down. We mentioned coming off a season-high 13 at TCU. Big week for her, so 10 so far today.
A couple block shots as well for Morgan.
Naimir Du about to come back for Iowa State. As Kane drains both free throws, and she now leads the lineup to a big round of applause, replaced by Naimir Du.
And I won't be surprised if we see some offensive, defensive substitutions here. Naimir Du on the defensive end, Morgan Kane on the offensive end.
Williams trying to get around Jones, feeds to Van. Van has it hang on the rim. Ryan runs down the rebound. Emily Ryan now with 7 rebounds to go along with her 8 points and 8 assists. Always threatening that triple-double, isn't she?
The Cyclones making big shots when they need them. 4 of their last 5 from the field in this fourth quarter.
Aubrey Jones on the foul.
And the slick ball handling of Emily Ryan. Aubrey Jones just cannot stay with her there on that crossover.
Ryan, as we mentioned earlier, she leads the Big 12 and is 12th in the country in assists, averaging almost 7. She has 8 today. And she has 11 points. Big free throws. That gives the Cyclones a 10-point lead with 2.5 to go.
Cyclones in a very advantageous position here, but as we know, Oklahoma can score points in a hurry.
Blocked by Ryan. Picked up, though, by Williams. Williams tries to go inside against Owens and scores. Against Jones, I should say.
Looks like Jenny Bronchek will take a timeout here.
That'll leave her with just 1.
Yep.
Bill Fennelly still has 3. 2:14 left to play.
But should be 2 more fun contests here in Hilton Coliseum. Not too many more opportunities to see Ashley Jones at her historic career in Hilton Coliseum.
I started to say that's a rough schedule down the stretch, but who in the Big 12 doesn't have a difficult schedule?
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
It's a great conference.
There are no gimmies.
There are none. Iowa State now wanting to use a little time. Donarski being guarded by Aubrey Jones. Blows around her, puts it up in the middle of the lane. And an offensive foul called on Donarski. So Oklahoma with the ball, down by 8 with 1:49 to play. And again, just 1 timeout remaining for Oklahoma. And Bill Fennelly has 3 if he wants to use them. And the Cyclones have the possession arrow. Feed comes inside to Van, and she scores. Van with 6 points, and it's a 6-point differential.
And Iowa State could take all the time that they'd like on this possession here. Coach Finley does have 3 timeouts remaining, just 1 for Oklahoma.
Narski on the dribble, lets the shot clock go down to 10. Now the Cyclones will put the offense in motion. Jones, step back 3 on the way and out. The rebound is snared by Anna Yanusa. Yanusa at the other end tries to score, and she'll be called for an offensive foul. The charge on Yanusa.
Great job by Ashley Jones retreating after she misses that 3-point shot.
Ashley Jones does, for all the numbers she gets, she does a lot of other things as well. And there was a great example right there, taking the charge. Cyclones a minute away from posting a win over Oklahoma. The 14th ranked Sooners and the 18th ranked Cyclones doing battle. And there's a foul whistled against Yanusa.
And not surprising that Emily Ryan keeps the basketball in her hands there, fully expecting that foul to come from one of the Sooners. Emily Ryan, one of the best free throw shooters in the country.
She's perfect today in 6 tries. And 10th best, as you say, in the country.
Iowa State will try to score their 28th point at the free throw line today.
Again, that really is a contrast to Oklahoma's 14 attempts and 9 makes. One more for Ryan with under a minute left to play. And it's an 8-point lead for Iowa State in the final minute. So the Sooners have to hurry. They get it inside to Maddie Williams. She scores. Now against full court pressure, trying to bring it up is Donarski, and she gets fouled by Aubrey Jones.
Well, this Iowa State team, really, we talked about Emily Ryan and what she does at the free throw line, but this team today, 87% from the free throw line. There are just not a lot of good options for Oklahoma in this situation when you're trying to make a comeback.
Donarski to the line. Well, again, free throw shooting going to be one of the big factors today for Iowa State. They've been so successful at the stripe, and that continues.
Well, when you just look at the free throw shooting for these Cyclones, Emily Ryan shoots 91%. Lexi Donarski shoots 91%. Ashley Jones shoots 84%.
Yeah, 12th in the country is Iowa State. 78% is a team.
Sure helps you protect the lead late in games when you have free throw shooters like that.
That it does. Yanusa with the miss. The rebound by Dew. In the backcourt, trying to bring it up is Donarski. Here's Ryan into the offensive end with 23 seconds on the shot clock. And the Cyclones, fans on their feet at Hilton Coliseum, as under Bill Finley, the Cyclones have won 82% of their games here at Hilton Coliseum. And he's about to score his 749th victory. Jones with the miss. The rebound taken by Janusa. She gets it out to Robertson. Robertson with time running down will put up one last shot. It does not go down. And the Iowa State Cyclones preserve the home court with an 86-78 victory over Oklahoma in a high-scoring, well-played basketball.